Okay, I am Mark Stewart in my Bedford office. Polls open in a couple minutes in New Hampshire. I want to give this message to Democrats who are dissatisfied with all of the staged candidates, and to Democrats and independents who are progressive but don't want to lose to Donald Trump. You can have it all, and that is with none of the above. Ladies and gentlemen, the staged candidates have proven that they can't beat Donald Trump. Okay? And the more that they send out the circular firing squad against one another, the winner each time is Donald John Trump. The more that down in Congress they want to impeach, the more that in the media they want to throw crap that doesn't stick, the more Trump looks shiny, and the Democrats are in jeopardy of losing for the second time to Donald Trump. What's a Democrat to do? Go outside the box. And look, it's not for me. I am on this ballot, though, to make sure it is for somebody better than me, but like me. Like previous leaders who were mainstream and forceful and could command a majority of Democrats and independents and even some Republicans. Hey, this year you could command a lot of Republicans, but not with Warren, Sanders, Buttigieg, Steyer, Biden. It's not going to happen. Please recognize you have a convention that can and should go outside the box. We don't know where Bloomberg's going to end up, but I think they will excoriate him too, even if he gets the nomination. And I actually think he is now the #1 Democrat likely who is running now to take the nomination because he has stayed out of the fray. I have stayed out of the fray, but that's because media hasn't covered it. Still, strategically, it always makes sense to let other guys go first if there are foibles to their campaigns. And none of these guys are even close to perfect. So, look at what will happen, I predict, 4 years from now. And we're doing this with the epic party that I have a hand in founding. You nominate early on. You don't nominate right early on. You run candidates who are not expected to be the presidential nominee of your party. Candidates to put out positions. And thus, they are arguing positions instead of personality. The ability of reporters to go back to something you said 18 years ago and try to make it stick. Well, look, I'm putting off a position. I am not putting off me because our convention is almost certainly not going to nominate me. And who will those candidates be? Those candidates would be ones who want to campaign in 2, 3 primary states. It is almost impossible to campaign in 50 states well. At times, during the rest of these primaries, you're going to see some of the worst of candidates, missing appointments, being too abrupt with media and getting called on it. You concentrate on 2 or 3 local states, and then your new party joins together, and from among you or from outside of you, a president, a vice president is chosen. And a whole cabinet, or a good portion of it, is chosen as well. This is what I will be doing with any who want to join on the EPIC party. EPIC stands for Every Politically Independent Citizen. So, for now, among Democrat voters and independent voters who believe none of the above are going to beat Donald Trump, vote for the NOTA candidate, the none of the above, where I have stood ever since I got into the race. That was 3 months ago. And in the race because of the disappointment. Yes, I've done that before. 20 years ago, I got into a presidential race, just in New Hampshire though, for the sake of expanding the field from a mere 2 prominent candidates, Bill Bradley and Al Gore. 4 years ago, I got into the race, not to be president, but to make sure one person was not going to be president. And it worked. Okay, some people saw the signs here in New Hampshire, and that was the only primary that I entered. I did 2 caucuses out west too. So this year, the equivalent is stop progressives. Stopping progressives is the 2020 equivalent of stopping Hillary. These guys are more dangerous than Hillary. Okay? And these guys are not just presidential candidates, Sanders and Warren and Kamala Harris when she was in. These are the squad, AOC, and her newly elected on fumes congressional colleagues, on fumes and bad ideas and emotion. Progressives tend to act these days on emotion. That wasn't true when the name kind of kicked in the late 90s, okay? A progressive was the new term for liberal because Reagan had kind of pushed back on the word liberal. And making progress was a legitimate aim. Well, progressives don't make progress. Progressives repress. Progressives these days want government to do more and more and more, and we know that it can't do as well. How many times have big government screwed up versus times that they fulfill as promised? Almost never. There are candidates that are not yet running who would be good for Democrats. There are candidates who are not yet running who would trounce Donald Trump. Okay? I've said the Democrat Party should go outside the box with Oprah and Dr. Phil, or Jon Stewart and Dave Ramsey. Make 2 of those 4 your president and VP picks. Donald Trump goes back to running hotels. All right. I look forward to seeing you at some polling places. I'll be in Manchester, wards 5 and 4 this afternoon. I may step in at Ward 9 as well. And all of those of you who are on my list with vote the lottery tickets, here's the Mega Millions. Got a bunch of them. $200 million drawing is tonight. Thanks for listening all these last many weeks. Have fun today. I will. I am from Bedford, New Hampshire, Mark Stewart.